Let's hang out together and do our makeup. Today I'm going to do a full face of everyday glam makeup. So it's a little bit glam, but it's something that you can wear every day. I did this, I wore at my son's hockey game, and it looked just beautiful. So let's get started. I have some newer products in here that I'm gonna use, some older ones, some favorites. So let's get started. First of all, this perfume. This is by KENZO, and I just purchased this, and this is the Flower Ikebana. I love the smell, and I'm gonna use some right now. The bottle is just so beautiful. Only thing I don't like is the cap. You kind of have to match it to fit it perfectly, so you kind of get the hang of it after a while. But yeah, I wanted to mention my new perfume. Okay, so absolutely nothing on my face but moisturizer and sunscreen. Today I'm gonna go with my Loreal Lumi Glotion, and you can choose any shade. This is the 902 Light Glow, and this is the darker one. I used to have a lighter one and I couldn't find it in store anymore, and I decided to buy this one, and it actually works really good. Like, it appears dark when you apply it, but after you blend it, it looks really nice. You can't even tell. It just provides that nice natural glow. And yeah, I'm gonna use this as my primer. Perfect. Now we're gonna go into a very bougie, expensive foundation. And this is my Pat McGrath foundation. I have mine in the shade Light 3. You have to give it a good shake. It's a very light consistency. It's really liquidy. Look at that. Just gonna put this on the face. Okay, and I'm gonna apply this with a Moda complexion brush. Oh, look, purple, just like my lamp. And just push the product into the skin. Oh, this is such a beautiful foundation. I think it's like $90 Canadian, so it's quite expensive, but you know, you get a lot. The packaging is just beautiful. It's just very lightweight, so you don't feel any type of heaviness on the face, nothing like that. It's just beautiful. And I'm gonna go in with a sponge to get rid of any brush strokes. You know, today my skin seems a little bit more drier than usual. So it does have a natural healthy glow, but it's not very glowy, so it's not very dewy, which if you have more oily skin, then you would really like this as well. I think it's perfect for every skin type. Let's move on to concealer. I love my Haus Labs concealer a lot, but today I'm going to use my Makeup by Mario. This the shade that I have is a little bit more brightening than the Haus Labs. High coverage. I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews on this concealer, but I'm actually loving it. It doesn't settle into any of my fine lines. It doesn't emphasize any texture on my skin, and it has a nice brightening effect, perfect amount of coverage. I'm just loving it, and I'm not setting this with powder at all. I don't really like to set my under eye area lately with powder because I've noticed throughout the day it becomes cakey and a little bit dry. So I think that this looks really, really nice. Let's turn down the light a bit so it's not so bright. For my bronzer, I have to use my Hourglass palette. This was expensive, and even though I was not a huge fan of it, I will have to use it. And today I'm going to go in with the bronzer from this palette only. And I'm going to use a Blink Brush F5. And I think I'm going to use the same one for blush as well today. So yeah, just build it up slowly and blend it. This bronzer looks really nice actually. So bronzer, highlighter, the blushes. Blushes are nice as well. Just one of them has some glitters in it, so I'm not really a big fan of glitters in any of my face products unless it's on the eyes, but I don't like it for complexion. I don't know why there's glitters in the products. I think just glitters makes the complexion looks a little bit more unnatural, and I don't know. My hair's coming apart. So yeah, here's the bronzer. It looks okay. I love the undertone, and it's a nice warm bronzer. not too yellow, not too gray. So it looks pretty. So someone did comment on my Hourglass video that this powder right here, it's a great finishing powder, and after you apply your bronzer and blush, you can use it by applying it all over the blush, all over the bronzer area, and it kind of diffuses and blends everything nicely together. So I will start using that powder that way. I don't know about this one. This has glitters in it, like little shimmers. When you apply it to the face, you don't see it in the pen, but when you rub it, your finger in it, you'll notice it. And same with this blush, has some glitters. It looks nice on the face, but the other powder with glitters, I don't know what to use it, how to use it. Maybe to set my eyes? I don't know, because I do want to use all of these products in the palette because it's just too much money not to use all those products. Okay, let's use highlighter first. So I'm going to go into this NATASHA DENONA Glam Face Palette and use this highlighter. That's what I've used yesterday and I really loved it. Okay, and for that, I'm going to use this setting brush by Real Techniques. This is a great highlighter. This palette by NATASHA DENONA is just one of my favorites. It seems like I've been reaching for it a lot and I really want to get a darker one too. They have a darker one, but look at this highlighter. This palette is what makes me love highlighter on my face. So for blush, I'm going to go in with my Patrick Ta, and this is in the shade She's So LA. It's so pretty. So I'm going to do it the way he applies it. Powder first, and then we're going to go in with the cream. So for powder, I'm going to use the same brush I've used for bronzer. So this is very pigmented, especially the powder one. So I'm just going to gently apply it. It's very similar to the bronzer, so I love this type of color story on my face. And look how nice it blends with the highlighter. It's so pretty. These Patrick Ta blushes are one of my favorite blushes to work with. You get two kinds in there. Now I'm going to go in with the beautiful cream. I'm going to use my BK Beauty 109. Just add on top for that extra glossiness on the cheek. So I don't like to drag it. I like to just dab it like this. Oh, so pretty. I love, love, love this blush so much. So what do you guys think? Let me zoom you in so you can see the complexion just a little bit better. I think that everything just looks so perfected. Now, I want to show you guys something. This is very, very cool what I got. Should I show you first? No. Let me set my eyes first. And I think I'm going to set them with my MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. I think I like Painterly more than the Soft Ochre. This one has more of a pink undertone and the Soft Ochre has more of a yellow. Again, if you have the NARS Eye Primer or the Anastasia Beverly Hills Urban Decay, you don't need this. They all kind of play the same role. Now I'm gonna go with a brown shade. You can choose from any palette, any type of brown shade, and I'm going to use this as my transition. I love this Pat McGrath Statuesque brown shade. I always use it. I'm going to use a BK Beauty 212, and I'm just going to put this in my crease, like above my crease as transition and in my crease. And just slowly blend it and make it look very perfected on the eye with no sharp lines. This eye look is going to be very simple but very sophisticated at the same time. So I'm just going to keep it in the crease and above, not on the actual eyelid. So you can even go in with the bronzer and apply it on your eyelid, but with this Hourglass bronzer, there was a note inside the actual packaging that said that the shades are not intended for the eyes. And because of that, I can't use any of those shades on my eyes. Like I was going to use the highlighter in my inner corner, the bronzer all over my eyelids, but I don't know if every bronzer comes with those instructions and we just use it on our eyelids, or is it just Hourglass putting it in there just to be safe, to let people know not to use it on your eye in case, I don't know, maybe the glitters, I have no idea. So I'm gonna follow those instructions and not put any of those on my eyes. Okay, so now we have the eyes defined with this brown shade. Let me go a little bit lower so you guys can see me better. And I got this NATASHA DENONA I Need a New Palette shade. It's like an individual shade, and this is the shade Muse. So I think it's this one right here in the middle. Yeah, Muse. So if you have the Glam palette, it's this shade in the middle, which is a new shade in this palette that comes into an individual one like this. And this is, if I purchase something online over $35, I was able to choose this. I always look for these deals. So I'm going to go ahead and with my finger apply it. But before I apply with my finger, I want to try a brush. Let's see if it works. I don't think it works with a brush. Yeah, I like my finger better. It melts the product more. So I'm just going to grab it on my finger and press it all over my eyelid. And I want to give it that nice wet look. Don't want to put too much because it's quite intense, but I want to spread it equally all over my eyelid. Just like that. So you can see the difference. Oh, so pretty. I'm going to do the same thing on this eye. I'm going to put it in the middle and then slowly bring it outwards and inward. Isn't that pretty? It's so easy. And that's all I did for my eyes, but I've also added the Makeup by Mario eyeliner, and I added the shade Perfect Brown. And what I did is, actually no. Before we do this, I went back into this NATASHA DENONA Glam, what is it called? The Glam face palette. And I went into this shade where it says crease and added it in the lower lash line just to have a little bit more brown here and not leave the lower lash line empty. So first I'm going to add it with a BK Beauty 207 brush. And then I'm going to go into my BK Beauty 212 and just blend it. Just like that. It's very subtle, but it makes a difference. Now we're going to go into the Makeup by Mario one. And I'm going to add this on my lash line right underneath the lashes, like right on my lash line at the top. And I'm just going to add it a little bit in the outer corner here. This is very scary for me. I'm not going to go past my eye. So you can see how it defined the eye a little bit more compared to this one. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. This is scary. I'm so scared. Yeah, it just darkens the top a little bit without creating a wink line. Now I'm going to put this in my waterline on the bottom lashes. You see how beautiful it just defines the eye. Now, if you don't want to make your eyes smaller, which is what the eyeliner in the waterline does, you can just leave it without adding a brown. And you can add like an off-white, beige, light shade in the waterline, and that makes your eye pop even more if you want to have more bigger eyes. But I like this eye look on me. That looks really pretty. Now I'm going to go back into that Glam palette and use my finger into the highlighter. This one right here. I'm going to use my finger and just add this in the inner corner there of my eye. Now, you don't need to go purchase this palette, that palette, and so on. Any type of highlighter can go beautiful in the inner corner. Any type of glitter on the eye you can use that it's more champagne light, don't go with gold. And a bronzer or like a light brown shade in the crease, that would all work. This is a type of video where you don't have to go purchase these products, or if you like them you can, but don't go spend money on them if you already have something similar in your collection. So that's why I want to create this video. I'm going to quickly go apply my mascara. And I'm going to use one of my favorites, my L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara, the curved brush mascara. Enjoy this intermission. I'll be right back with lips. So here's a close-up of the eye look and the complexion before we move on to lips. What do you guys think? I think it looks beautiful. Like, look at that, the nice glitter, not too much. I mean, this is just perfect for every day for me anyways. Okay, so let's move on to lips. For lips, I have chosen this Colourpop lippie pencil in the shade Ctrl, CTRL, and it's quite brown, but I want to show you how I'm going to use it. I'm going to use a brush. This is a Sephora lip brush. It's quite old, but I definitely recommend it. It's so perfect for your lips. I'm going to line my lips with this dark shade, Chocolate Lips, and I'm going to go into my Dior Lip Glow. This is in the shade 039 Warm Beige, and it's like a nice brown shade. I'm just going to apply it in the middle, and I'm going to go in with this brush and blend it together. So you see how this brush just meshed everything so nicely together? I'm loving it. Another thing you can do is you can go with this brush right with the tip on top of the lip liner and add a little bit more. So what do you guys think here? I think it looks really nice. I love this combo. I did it yesterday and I was obsessed with how the look turned out. This is kind of a perfect fall look as well. I think all the shades match all of the fall colors, and it's just a very soft but glam look that you can use it every day. You don't have to go somewhere special to put this makeup on. I feel so pretty in it. It makes me feel really good and I love it. That's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.
Morning has broken, my windows are open. Wanna feel the wind blow through my hair. Which way do I follow? What happens to my